I legit have been trying to set this shot up for the last like 15 minutes. And I'm done. So I'm just gonna shoot it. We'll do it live. Whatever the hell this dude said. Um, Today is Sunday, October 20th, 2024, 11:55 p.m. I have not done an update video in I don't even know. When was the last one? I don't know. I haven't been from when I first started recording these videos. I haven't every single day recorded, and I think originally that's what I was aiming for, but between life and just things happening, things you got to get done, on top of everything with chemotherapy and stuff, you just can't account for everything. So yeah, obviously I did my best to try to record every day along this like chemotherapy journey, but it's just not, especially on days where you just feel like complete shit, it's not really possible. So it just, as the cycles went on, I realized my recordings kind of got more and more sparse, like in between. But there's also I remember days where it's kind of like nothing else to say. Like, what is there to talk about? Like, yeah, I feel like shit, like I did yesterday and the day before, and then you start to feel a little better, and then a little better, and a little better, and a little more, and a little more with each consecutive day, right? So yeah, I mean, today is two days or 3 days post my first follow-up scan. So just a little bit of context. If this is, for those of you this is the first video you're watching, in all the days and months have been a blur. I've been out of, it's October, what I said, October 20th. I haven't been working since July. Well, because I started my chemotherapy treatment. I was diagnosed with testicular cancer, stage 3, back in, I think, April. I don't even know, honestly, man. At this point, I'd have to really like go back and look. It was sometime around spring of 2024, and I was scheduled to do 4 cycles of chemotherapy. I opted to do 3. I didn't do my 4th cycle, for different reasons. First being, I think 3 was enough for me. I'm confident that 3 did the job and cured me. I'm not saying that'll work for anyone else who may or may not be going through this, who's watching this right now. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV. But no, all kidding aside, I don't endorse or recommend anything that I do. It's just I do what I do for me because I feel like that's the right call. But that being said, I was supposed to do four cycles. A cycle, at least for testicular cancer treatment, is 5 days on for treatment, 5 days in a row. And then depending on what treatment you get, there's either you're 2 weeks off, or you get treatment in between. And so for my specific treatment, which was EP, it was 4 cycles, 5 days on, 2 weeks off, and then you do that 3 more times for a total of 20 weeks worth of treatment. 20 weeks, you hear me? 20 days. Mine's all over the place. 20 days 4 weeks, 20 days worth of treatment. Um, and so I did 3 weeks, and that's just like I said, what I felt was right for me. Um, it's been done before with success. Obviously, the doctors were like, hey, we recommend doing the 4 weeks, the full treatment, um, because that's what the studies show that is the most effective and whatnot. Which is cool, and I believe it. I understand it. But for me personally, like I said, I think it did the job, and there was just a lot of um, I think sometimes the universe, life, God, whatever you personally believe in, will talk to you. And a lot of times I think as people we get frustrated, right? We go, why doesn't God say anything? Why doesn't, I try to ask God for a sign, or I try to talk to God, and I just feel like I don't get it. Like, I don't hear anything. I don't see anything. Like, what's wrong? Like, am I doing something wrong? Does God even exist? Like, what the hell's going on, right? And I've been there. Trust me, I've been there. Shit, I still go there sometimes. I'm fallible, man. I'm not perfect by any stretch, and you know, it's hard, man. It's definitely hard when you need guidance and direction, and you try to seek it, whether it be with someone in your family or friends or through YouTube, right? You try to seek some type of reassurance, some type of help, and it's frustrating when you feel like you just can't get it. You just like, what the hell am I supposed to do? And for me, I turned to God, man. I definitely turned to God, and I would be like, what the hell am I supposed to do? Give me a sign, like, make it undeniably true that it's a sign. And I communed with God prior to this, but my faith has only gotten stronger, and my connection with God, I feel like, has gotten stronger through this experience. And I realized that a lot of times we think God's not talking to us, but it's just that we're not listening. Or oftentimes it'll be something we don't want to hear. And so we're stubborn, you know what I'm saying? We don't lock in and really pay attention. And oftentimes, more often than not, that thing you call a gut instinct. Hey, excuse me, damn hiccup. That gut instinct is there for a reason. And we just want to fight it. We don't want to listen. We don't want to accept that that's what it is, right? We just be like, no, it can't be that. It got to be. More often than not, I find that you know what you're supposed to do, man. You know what the right answer is. You just don't want to do the shit, right? You just don't want to do it. You just don't want to deal with it, and so you'll give yourself any outing, any rhyme or reason to not do something, and that's where we fuck up as people. That's, as humans, that's where we just mess up, and I believe God talks to us. It's just in modern day science, or however you want to phrase it, you know what I'm saying? It's what's known today as your consciousness, your when you know good damn well you're not supposed to do something, and you just, that voice in your head that be telling you, I don't know about this one, or you sure you want to do this, like, this might not be the move. And when you wrestling with that, in the scriptures, there's a story of Jacob who wrestles with the messenger of messenger of God, right? He wrestles. And that, whether you again believe in scripture or not, that's metaphorically. That's an allegory for when you wrestle with your consciousness. You're wrestling with God, because that's not put there. Your gut instinct, your when you say like I got a bad feeling or intuition or all these terms that we use, that's not put there by accident, right? That's not put there by mistake. You have that for a reason. It's just like I said, we choose for whatever reasons to not listen. We just stubborn as hell. We want to fight every step of the way. Like, nah, maybe. And there's times where you fight it and you were right. You know what I'm saying? But then there's definitely those times where we fight. Yo, if this lighting is shit, I've said this before in other videos. I apologize, but I just got this camera, this Sony, and I've been playing with it here and there, but I really don't know how to fuck with it, and the ISO and the aperture and all that stuff is just new, so like bear with me. If it looks dark, I apologize, but it is what it is. Like, just deal with it. What I'm saying is way more important anyway. It ain't about how I look and the lighting and shit. It's about this message that I feel compelled right now to speak on. And I have a point. I'm not just trying to ramble, but that voice in your head, man, that consciousness, that guilty conscience, whatever it is, like I said, whatever term and name you want to give it, that's, to me, my opinion, that's God. That's God talking to you. That wasn't put there by accident. You were born with that tool for a reason. And that guides you, man. That guides you along the way if you pay attention, if you choose to listen to it. But like I said, oftentimes we don't, right? We're like spoiled children at times, man. We want what we want, when we want it, how we want it. And even if we know, damn, this ain't right, or I messed up, or I shouldn't do this, or that, when you feel that doubt and that sense of like confliction inside, like internally, that's God. That's the universe. That's whatever you want to call it, however you want to call it. To me, that's Yah. That's God speaking to you, and it's on you whether you want to listen to it or not. That being said, I said all that to say my personal belief and connection with God has gotten stronger through this experience. Because I called on God, and I called on through prayer to try to figure out what to do. And don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that I'm saying I know everything, or I know that I'm gonna get everything right in life. But for me personally, doing the 3 cycles just felt like something in me was, and there, I'm not gonna get into details right now because I don't want to draw this video out too long, but there were signs. I'll say that there were signs. There were things put in the way to basically enforce, the amount of cycles that I ended up doing. And for me to push back and continue with doing a 4th cycle, honestly would have been more of a pain in the ass logistically for me to figure out. And I personally, I'm of the belief that everything happens for a reason. Everything comes with a purpose. Everything has its purpose. I don't think things just serendipitously happen by mistake or an accident. I truly believe things happen for a reason. You and I are here for a reason. You're watching this video right now for a reason. The damn lighting comes and goes and gets better and worse for a reason. Everything has its reason. We might not know what it is, right? You might not know the reason at the time, but there's definitely a reason for everything. Everything has its reasons. And anyway, for me, the right choice was 3 cycles, not 4. And so I completed the 3 cycles. Happy, actually, my facial, I don't know, like I said, off the top of my head, I'm right now dealing with like aftermath of like Hurricane Helene and then Milton. You know, we still waiting on power. It's just been a pain in the ass, man. Like so much going on life wise on top of treatment and all this other stuff. And so I don't recall, like I'm telling you, I'll be forgetting days of the week and shit because I haven't worked, so I haven't really been having to keep track of these things. But um, I definitely, again, believe everything happens for a reason. And this downtime, this time of reflection that I've had, has allowed me to build a stronger bond spiritually with my Creator. And I'm grateful to God first and foremost through everything, through this journey. But um, what I wanted to share in this video was the great news that I had my first follow-up scan 3 days ago, and my HCG originally was at 16,000, which staged me at stage 3. Stage 3 for testicular cancer is the highest stage. There's no stage 4. There's no. It's just stage 3. Um, and I had spread to a couple of my lymph nodes in my abdominal, and my follow-up scans showed that currently my HCG is down to less than zero point 0.5, and my lymph nodes have shrunk back to the original size. God is good all the time, man. But for certain, I could tell you, man, I'm grateful for every moment. I still have, my moments and my days where I'm like caught up in dumb shit, but I quickly, like immediately, like I'm talking like milliseconds after, I just catch myself and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, be grateful that you're here to even complain, that you have another moment, another day to be so ungrateful and bitch and be annoyed and get, you know what I'm saying? Like all those things that we find unfavorable, you get to be that. You get to have that. And not everybody is given that privilege. And so yeah, this is the follow up that I wanted to do. Um, I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful, and I feel like God guided me all along, and I was meant to get through this because I'm meant to do more. And I believe part of me feeling that feeling of doing more is this, going through this to potentially help whoever else is watching this, whoever will be watching this. Um, I just want to extend my hand and be some type of help and guidance to anybody out there who might be going through some shit and who needs just that same voice and guidance and help that I was so desperately seeking at the beginning of this shit is what I wanted so very badly. And so I'm not one to make like YouTube videos. I'm not comfortable in front of a camera. I don't care to be known. I don't want, like, I'm very private. People who know me will tell you like I'm super to myself. I keep my circle small. I'm not even really with this like internet, like trying to put myself out there type shit, and I really, this is not my thing. And it might come off through the camera, but you know whatever, like this has compelled me, and I feel like God is guiding me through this because this is bigger than me and my little hangups. This is bigger than me and like I don't want to be on camera and all this other shit. This is about me wanting to genuinely help because like I said, I not with just this, but this especially and particularly has made me want to take it and flip it and use it as a strength rather than a weakness. And to me that means being help to others, being of service to others. And I think that's the greatest glory and blessing that any one of us can be bestowed with, is being of service in any kind of way to someone else. It's one of the greatest. You know, they ask Yeshua, they ask Jesus in the scriptures. What's the greatest? What's the greatest commands? Like, what are the most important commandments? And he says there's two. Love God with all your might, with all your heart, and treat your neighbor. Do unto your neighbor as you do for yourself, right? The golden rule: do unto others as you have them do unto you. And I really feel like no matter what your thing is, no matter what you do, there's nothing more important than being of service and aid in some capacity to other people. And this is I firmly know that this is the path that I've been put on for a reason. And I'm gonna do the best that I can with what I got. So with that, again, I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful for those of you who are watching this, and I'm gonna catch you on the next one, man.